Hello my friends, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, January 2nd, 2018. This is Jennifer. Happy 2018 guys. I hope that you had a very lovely new year. I was thinking a lot about what I was going to talk about today, but I thought we'd do a quick recap of my 2017 list. I changed the way I make my to-do list last year, and I found that it's probably the most successful I've ever been in keeping my to-do list / UFO list. So I created this guy last year. It is a grid that has blocks in progress, tubs to be pieced, needs back, to be quilted, on the frame, bind and label, and finished. And as you can see, finished went pretty well. And not only are there individual projects on here, but this is a list of all the Linus tops that I finished and quilted and got turned in for the Linus connection. A few times during the course of the year, I had these moments where I felt like I hadn't been doing anything. And I found if I came in and I checked out my list and realized how much I had actually finished, it made me feel a lot better. One of the only It's not even really a downside, but one of the things about being a designer is that a lot of times you're designing and you're not actually creating in fabric. So it feels like you're not getting as much done. So it makes me feel really good when I can look at my finished list and realize I've actually done a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm just going to read off what I finished last year. And if I'm feeling saucy, I'll put pictures in as I go along so you can see what I'm talking about. So in 2017, I finished the 2017 paper piecing vintage Halloween quilt. I finished a Project of Doom for Linus. I finished the 2015 Project of Doom. Not only did I finish that, but it also lives on my bed. I sleep under it every single night. I finished the X-Files quilt from 2016. I finished my daughter's t-shirt quilt for graduation. I finished the Goblin King quilt from the quilt-along from the beginning of last year. I finished 2 Lion King quilts, which were blocks made by people that are part of our community on Fandom and Stitches. For Linus, I finished a bunny quilt, a blue and yellow star quilt, a demo quilt, an orphan block quilt, a one orphan block quilt that was made out of Aunt Grace fabric, an orphan block quilt that was a 5 at the Hive block of the month, a rainbow row quilt, and a pink and green quilt. And I also finished a whole bunch of fleece blankets for Linus where I embroidered on the fleece and I put that, you know, I did the serging and stuff. I didn't put those on my finished list this year, and I think I'm going to change that next year. I think I'm going to keep a list, add a little list to the side that's everything that's not a quilt that I finished, because honestly, sometimes I just need the self-esteem boost of knowing that I'm actually getting stuff done. So what I will do after I finish filming is I'm going to take all of these guys out, and I have a scrapbook that I've been keeping it for a rainy day, and I'm going to stick all of these down, and then hopefully I'll remember next year to do the same thing, and then I'll have an ongoing list of my finishes for the year. And then what I need to do, I may rearrange this a little. I need a section for things I haven't started yet, because the first thing I have is blocks in progress. And I have a couple things on my list that I haven't even started yet. So one of those things is a quilt that I'm going to do for a friend of my son who should be moving into an apartment of his own later this year. And it's a thing that I promised him last year. I told him I wouldn't get to it till 2018. And so that's a thing I'm going to start later this year. And then Vanda and I are designing the Star Trek quilt-along for Fandom and Stitches, which was announced, I think, last week or week before last on Fandom and Stitches. So that's going to be at the end of this year. That starts in September. So I need to start sewing on that pretty soon. So that's another thing that's not started yet. So I just need a place for things that are going to happen but haven't started. I'll do a quick overview, too, of what's still in progress. Rainbow Cascade, obviously, still in progress. We pick up again next week. We start January 8th. We'll get our next nudge. So if you're behind, I'm behind. So don't take it personally if you're a little behind. I literally took 2 weeks off from everything except for hanging out with my family and doing a little bit of embroidery for some last minute projects. And so I've got to get back to it this week. So if you guys are behind, don't take it personally. We'll catch up. I have tops to be pieced, and this says Linus Orphan Blocks, which is an ongoing project. It's just that stays on here because I always have orphan blocks to put together. Needs a back. 2015 Project of Doom signature quilt is still hanging on this wall. I haven't pulled it back for it, but hopefully this will be the year. Also needs a back. I've got 3 Linus quilt tops right here, the ones that I finished early in December. Those all need quilt backs so that I can get those quilted and turned in January, hopefully in January. They might also be January, February in case I don't get them all done. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to get everything done at the same time. That is a thing that I'm really bad about, and it's one of the things I'm working on this year. To be quilted, embroidered flowers quilt from 2011. 2011, 7 years, it's probably time to quilt that. Those are the blocks that were practice blocks for hand embroidery so that I can embroider the original Project of Doom. That's how long this has been hanging around. My 2012 Hobbit There and Back Again block of the month, that was I believe that was the second block of the month we ever did on Fandom and Stitches, and I've had this quilt basted for years and I haven't quilted it. What I need to do is unbaste it and put it on my frame and quilt it. So 2012, I've got a 2011 and a 2012, so maybe I'll get to those this year. And the As You Wish quilt from 2014, which honestly, the only reason it's not quilted is I haven't decided how to quilt it yet because it's such a different layout. But again, maybe I'll get that quilted this year. And I'd like to say that I only have 3 that need to be quilted. I think I need to go back and look, but I think when I started 2017, the reason this box is so big, I think that was all needs to be quilted. I think that's why that was so big. On the frame is empty. There's nothing on my frame right now, which is good because my garage is freezing. Bind and label. Again, I haven't quilted anything in a few weeks, so nothing to bind and label. And then my finish section. This is a super low-tech list. It's just a piece of poster board that I had on hand. I love it. This has been the best to-do list, UFO list, whatever you want to call it, that I've ever worked from. It is simple. I can move the post-it notes around. I can add new post-it notes whenever I want. And I definitely intend to keep using it this year. That is going to wrap it up for me, you guys. Like I said, I haven't even turned my sewing machine on in the last week. My embroidery machine is in the shop. I used it almost 2 years without it being serviced, so after the holidays I took it in to have it serviced, so it's out getting itself some spa treatment, which it deserves after what I put it through in December. Hopefully this week I will get my machines turned back on and get back to work. I do have to drive to Dallas one more time. I returned my son and his friend from college who has been staying with us this whole break. I returned them to Dallas at the end of the week. That's going to be a hit and run. I've got to get them up there and then get back again because there's just so much going on at home that I need to take care of, and we're going to get back to it. It's 2018. I'm trying to have a very positive outlook this year. I started, if you guys have followed me any length of time on social media, you know that I follow Yoga with Adrienne, which is a YouTube channel. She does free yoga videos, and also every January she does a 30-day program. So I did day 1 this morning before I filmed, so I feel good about that. This is actually my 4th year to do her 30-day program. I think it's my 4th year. So yeah, I had to count on my fingers. It's my 4th year to do her 30-day program. So if you guys are wanting just to take a little bit better care of yourself this year, you need something to loosen up after all your quilting and your sewing and whatever, yoga's a really good way to do that. So anyway, so that's me taking care of me, and just a quick reminder that the Land Before Time quilt along starts on Fandom Mid Stitches next week. That's January 10th, 2018, and the quilt along will be with Angela. If you guys haven't already joined the Facebook group, she shared fabric amounts and some other information in there, so you guys be sure and be part of that group. And we look forward to sharing a brand new quilt along for the first part of 2018. We've got 4 fun events this year, and this is just the first one. So we will see you guys with that post next week. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I hope you get in here and share your videos. And I would like to welcome back to Talk to Me Tuesday Sarah, who is my adopted daughter. And I would like to welcome back Anita, who hasn't done Talk to Me Tuesday in quite some time, and it's really great to see your face again. So you guys, welcome back, and I hope that those others of you who were planning to come back also come back, and those people that are new that have had your invite sent, I hope we get to see your smiling faces too. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. I will see you guys next week. Bye. Also, new glasses. They're purple. You like? You like? I can see again. It's great.